Good evening, folks, and welcome along. It's another Tuesday night outing. Let me just get that sorted out. It is Taco Tuesday. It is Formula Racing League. And... sorry, audio issues. It's Taco Tuesday. I do apologize. I'm not sure what the crackling is. That's really bothering me on the crack. I'm going to sort out. It's Taco Tuesday. Welcome along. It is round number
evening,
7.
folks,
And welcome along. It's another Tuesday night outing. Let me just get that sorted. What is going on? Sorry, my audio is all over the place. I apologise if you're hearing things twice. It's all going off at Silverstone this evening, the home of the British Grand Prix. We've got Snetterton still to come, Hungaroring, and the Nürburgring. It was highlights I was showing of last week's race, but the sound is playing up a bit. So we'll give that a skip just now. And we'll go ahead and jump into the lobby. The drivers are just getting ready for practice, so we'll have a look at the table as well while I multitask and get us in to the server for the race. Let me just do that. It was a phenomenal race last week at Oulton. Oulton Park never fails to deliver. Certainly fun and games for the drivers, and the track certainly proved to be so. We saw a few drivers falling foul of the Castrol hairpin, which saw the some interesting strategies coming to the fore towards the end. Sorry, Bernie, just jumping into the server as well. And it did see the winner was, in fact, Cool Racing. Kept cool while all others around him lost their heads. Third trip onto the podium, much like Milden, who finished in third position there. A third trip to the podium for his. But Jetpack and Nebula did manage to get back onto second. His fourth time in second position out of the 6 races he's taken part in, the 8th and the 5th there as well. Means he does have an 11-point gap over Cool at the top there. 34 points back is Milden on that 178. Didn't take part in round 1, as I mentioned in last week's broadcast, so certainly a case of what could have been had he been taking part in round number 1. DeCuno, who is the team leading the charge, trying to catch up with Cool and Milden's team. They're on 380 points, Cool Racing and Milden in the SBR AKKA Mercedes team. 46 points ahead of Jetpack and Nebula and Michael Races. Michael, of course, not in this series anymore, and it is DeCuno and Ams who are leading the charge, but they're 127 points back and being outscored by an average of about 70% over the team totals over the last few races. So it really is going to take a concerted effort for the two of them to catch up. Ams falling foul of Oulton Park last week, only managing a 20th position. A seasonal worst so far, which sees the team points drop once again. Ams in that 19th position overall. So a big spread there between that team. Rob 2K came home in 12th, but still maintains 5th in the championship. Corner 6. Michael Race is no longer with him. Super Catry in that 8th place. Cheese Monkey still in the championship, though, in 9th overall with 94 points. And it's Ollie rounding out the top 10. Are taking 2 qualifying. Bear with me a second. For some reason, password's not letting me in. All the joys. But jump in the chat if you are on YouTube. Welcome along. My name is, of course, Double O Raven, John Wright, and Scott's John on Twitter. Furiously panicking to find what I need. But who do we think is going to win tonight? It's going to be a close one. Silverstone, it certainly lends itself to some serious overtaking. So should be a very, very good race tonight. If I can actually get us in. There we go. So we'll join the drivers out on track. Oh, and it's actually 3 minutes left of free practice, so I'll have jumped in a little bit early then. Right, okay, so we are slightly ahead of schedule. So let's have a further look at the stand-ins. Let me just bring over this view here so I can see. As I was saying, Cheese Monkey in that 9th with Ollie in 10th. We've got TKD Drifter and Kaja Tacos Drifter in the lobby, actually just going out on track. So yeah, let's jump out on the Silverstone's track. We're on the PS5, of course, so we'll be viewing the race in chase cam. Hopefully that sound is okay. Let me put the game sound back on. I realise there is a bit of crackling in the background. I'm not 100% sure what's causing that. Hopefully it doesn't detract too much from the action that we're going to be seeing. 2.5 minutes left until the drivers start their qualifying. So they'll just be doing, in fact, yeah, there's not very many of them out on track, as I mentioned. You can see Milden, Rob 2K there. Oulton had the great race as well. A lot overtaken last week for the Bentley driver. Good strategy battle over the piece as well. So it'll be good to see their Jetpack and Nebula. None of the drivers with a practice time. So I'm not sure if that's just recently been reset, but we will see some quick times. Obviously, sub 2 minutes, absolutely on the cards with the calibre of driver that we've got out on track. We'll see just how many of them manage to break that barrier. Very cloudy conditions, but from what I've seen, it did say 0 on the rain setting, which is set to 0, so we could see heavy cloud and a cold track. I seriously think we're going to see any rain though. I know. Listen, I know. We can speak to the correct authorities. I'm sure the drivers will be happy, but yeah, no, definitely a revolution in the ranks. I would say we need to get a bit of rain on and really test these drivers. For normal track, here we can see just coming along what is the GT3 start-finish straight into Verstappen corner. High-speed corner, definitely precarious going side by side through there, as I'm sure the Formula 1 drivers will attest to. Of course, into Maggots, out through Beckett's and onto Chapel Curve. Very, very difficult section of track to get through in these GT cars. You really need your feather with and play with the accelerator and the brake and use as much of the width as you can. You're going to see a lot of drivers over on that left-hand green AstroTurf on the outside. As we see TK Drifter just coming to a grinding halt. There is Zad 007. He is just ahead then, so he's made it through Stowe. He's coming down to Vale. The chicane here that leads you into Club, and then of course on to the newly named Hamilton Straight. Again, another very fast section. You really want to be over onto that right hand curb, almost mounting that sausage curb. Through here into Abbey in the Farm Curve. Again, very tricky place. Don't want to be going side by side through there. Not an overtaking opportunity. This definitely is through this complex of corners here in these cars. Very tricky. We're going to see different car types taking this complex of corners very differently depending on their drivetrain and their acceleration capabilities out of the corners. Onto the Wellington Straight for the BMW driver. Underneath the bridge. Into Brooklands he will come. Of course, this will take us past the pit entrance, where we will see the drivers take a mandatory pit stop. Through Luffield, he's let that run a bit wide, but on a Woodcote and on to start finish straight. So we'll see, obviously, some much quicker laps. This is just the end of practice. We've still got a couple of drivers joining us. Good to see up to 26. Which is phenomenal. Good to see Red Ken back again. He had an early exit last week, unfortunate. It's actually exactly the same wall. I've raced about 300 league races myself personally, and there's only a couple I haven't made it to the end. I think literally 2. Oulton Park is one of them, and that wall just before the Castrol is the wall that did do me in. The technical terminology. There's a pit entrance there. As you can see, very quick that there you go. You can see just how quickly that line suddenly appears as you come round that right-hand corner. Well, there you go. Once again, proving that commentators know absolutely nothing. After my declaration that there was going to be a lot of cloud and no rain. Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, make sure you've got your waterproofs and your Wellingtons on. Grab yourself an umbrella. Poncho would be good in this weather. Make sure you keep your Tupperware completely sealed so the sandwiches don't get soggy at Silverstone, because it is raining, and that is a considerable amount of rain, and the track is graded as greasy. Up at the top centre of the screen there, you can see 3 little cloud symbols, and a 10 and a 30. That is the prediction for what the weather will be doing in 10 and in 30 minutes, and you can see that cloud is much bigger with a heavier rain symbol and a plus. So we are going to see yeah, some fun times here at Silverstone, and quite frankly, could not be more excited by it. If there is anybody in the chat, let me just see if this is working. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome along. Hope you're ready for this one. ACC PS5. Let me just see. The cars do look slightly smaller. We've messed with the screen ever so slightly, just so we can bring you as much action as possible. Of course, the PS5 doesn't actually have spectator mode at the moment, but what we can do so yeah, we'll jump on board with Milden in the Mercedes. He does like to get himself on the podium, does our Milden, and the Mercedes does sound absolutely phenomenal, let's face it. So we'll jump on board and get a look at what the drivers will see during the racing endeavours. And okay, I'm not sure what's going on with the screen. But yeah, there we go. Slightly better look at the screen. Just coming through the last few corners now, so that's lovely. You'll just see the pit entrance on the right hand side. As I said, the drivers do have the mandatory pit stop to take. Tyres are required and fuel is allowed. Yeah, that's correct, yeah, and sorry. It's the 90 minutes at Oulton and the 90 minutes at Nürburgring to round out the series. Hour and a half race, that's going to have 2 mandatory pit stops for the drivers to take, as we saw last week out. Let me just do that in that. You can see the drivers. Usually this would be a much faster section of the course. You'd see the revs going much higher. The drivers in the greasy condition, it's going to be a toss-up between high pressure soft tyres. Although with, and saying that, yeah, the rain's going to get heavier, so we're definitely going to see wet tyres on the car. A lot of scrubbing from the tyres in through club. And it's just dawned on me, that's not actually helmet cam, so you're not getting the full effect of the rotation of the car. Really, you can see that is coming on the Hamilton straight, as I mentioned. With the first lap we'll watch, you really need to be over to that right hand side to widen that corner as much as possible. Again here, just normally you would see the really brave drivers, just a real slight lift and throw that one in, but again in these conditions understeer is going to be very, very, very real, even in a car like the Mercedes. It was actually going to compliment the Mercedes on its ability to ride curbs, beautifully illustrated by the Mercedes climbing over that sausage on the entrance to the village complex. We're going to start seeing some lap times popping in any second as the outlaps begin to finish. Still 3 drivers in the pits, 2 drivers in the pits, sorry. One of those is myself. So 25 out on track. And here comes the time, the Kino 209. I did say we'd see sub 2 minute laps, obviously with it being wet. We might not. Milden with a 206.1 that takes that pole position then. Ollie in the Bentley, he has taken himself second with Rob 2K, so the times are going to come flashing in thick and fast, so we'll see if we can keep up with it. It's Rob who's jumped to second position. In fact, let's get back out. Oh, at corner, there you go. Goes half a second quicker again. Floppy Fox. He wasn't in last week's race. Quick, he's in the Ferrari as well. How is he going to do? Where is Jet Packer? 3.5 seconds off the pace on his opening lap. The track is going to get wetter, so the times could potentially get slower. When it got held up in traffic, difficult to tell. We do have a yellow flag just up ahead, actually. Moving again now. Renville goes within a 10th. Milden still that half second behind Renville, within a 10th in the Lexus. The Lexus definitely the car to go for in the wet. Absolutely phenomenal car. I'll keep an eye on that. Apparently there's a bit of an issue with the PS5 server. Yeah, so yeah, well, hopefully this keeps running, but we're running all fine and well at the moment. Rob 2K certainly is a 10th off the pace. But coming along the Wellington Straight, 8 minutes still to go. I'm not sure why there was a yellow flag. There's no car stationary in front of him. He's just coming to finish his lap. Drifter's got a lap done and back into the pits, potentially making changes to the tyre pressures. Hopefully the drivers did their homework and got plenty of wet setup practice in. Milden into the pits from third. Rob, no improvement. Ollie still that half 10. Milden did improve, in fact, 2.5 tenths to third. He is now. He's jumped into the pits. Again, you would guesstimate his tyre pressures. The drivers are looking to change. We've got Arms, who we mentioned, Red Ken as well, in the BMW. Want a Ferrari. You and I both. Andy Cray, Lintel. Floppy Fox in the pits. Kaja Tacos. GT Jamie, Yazoo, going with Yazoo for that one. Super Cartry as well, top 10 driver. You've Oulton in the pits. Arnie Noir, get out of here, come on, get to the pit lane. It won't be the last time I do that joke, and I'm not even sorry. Cheese Monkey, just overtaken Drifter actually. An improvement on position in the BMW. Lamaro in 12th, Takuno in 11th, high grade B. Definitely using the high-grade fuel. Jetpack and Nebula. There's more changes up at the top. Elysium Hutch is up into 8th. Yazoo's just gone quicker in 7th. Rob in 6th place. Arms in the Audi getting a second mention in the rundown. What an improvement on position that one is. Up into the top 5. Ollie, Milden, Renville and Connor. All the drivers out on track at the moment. Let's see how your Oulton gets on. Just going at this one. Yeah, I was running down the rest. We didn't quite get through everything. It is Matty Road Racing who's in 28th position. He's got 13 points. Arnie Noir that I just mentioned. He's on 19 with 27. Oh, your Oulton just running a bit off track. Oh, the back of the car's gone. Oh, and that's a nice cheeky little 360. Giving us a beautiful view there of some of the new stands that have been built just at the start of the Hamilton Straight. Love your Oulton's dedication to the content. Thank you very much for that, bud. Let's jump up onto Jetpacker Nebula. He is the championship leader. Let's see what he can do during qualifying. He finds himself 2 seconds off the pace. But Connor still leading the charge with 205.6. Andy Cray is in 26 with Palmer. In Paler Modge, sorry, in 25th. Cheese 24th. Shegs in 23rd with Elysium in 22nd, just ahead. Just behind, sorry, Oulton in 21st. Lamaro, Rin and Red Ken 18th, 19th and 20th in the championship. The three of them only separated by 5 points and only 3 points behind Lintel in 17th. So very close there for positions to change. They are 14 points back from Arms and Renville on 76 points each, and Ollie and Hutch 2 and 3 points ahead of those two drivers in 15th and 16th position. So definitely potential for positions to change there as well, especially considering only 7 points up the road is Kaji Tacos with 86 points. And TKD Drifter, as I mentioned, he was on 92 points. He's only a point behind 10th, who's a point behind 9th, so only 2 points separating 9th through 11th. 98 points for Super Cartray. Big chunk of change though, from 8th up to 6th point wise. 50 point deficit between Art Corner and Cheese Monkey. Sorry, Super Cartray. So big gap there. So you feel the top 6 really are having a battle between themselves. 148 for Connor, 163 for Rob. DeCuno on 177 points, only a point behind Milden. And third on 178, 202 for Cool and 213, as I mentioned, for Jet, Packer, Nebula. So all important positions could be changing tonight. The drivers, especially with this changeable conditions. And that's another plus sign just appeared at that cloud, so you can expect the track to go from greasy to wet by the time we get into the race. I would have to check the server, I'm not sure in game time what there is between qualifying and down in 30th position. Between the qualifying and the race start, the track is certain to be a lot better. Jet Packer, no improvement on his time still. Well, sorry, a slight improvement on his time. I do apologise. No improvement on position. Small improvement in time. The Porsches really not doing well in the wet. It's still Art Corner though. 205.6, the original pole time. I did say with the rain getting heavier, the track would get greasier, and we could see the times potentially slowing down. No one. Oh! Milden in the Mercedes. There we go. Yeah, no, here's me. Yep, there's no rain. There won't be any rain. No, and then there's rain. No, nobody will go quicker. Yep, Milden's gone quicker. 6,000. That's phenomenal to be this close around the track, this length, in these conditions. Quite frankly, is pretty frightening. Yeah, 3.6 miles this bad boy is. And separated by 610. Renville in that third place. Still time to put laps in. Ollie might struggle though, he's off track. Arms there in that fifth. The Audi squealing its way into Magus and Beckett's. There's Rob. Wazoo as well. GT Jamie up in 8th. Elysium 9th. Super Cartray in 10th. Kaji Tacos in 11th. Hutch in 12th. Jetpacker Nebula in the pits. No more times from the Jetpacker. DeCuno once in the top 5, then 14th. Andy Cray, TK Drifter, High Grade Lamaro. Your Oulton, Cheese Monkey, Lintel, Arnie Noir all got times set. Arnie won't be getting another one set. Or he might do actually if he's quick. Yeah, he's got time to get to the line. And that Porsche Floppy Fox with no time set yet. Neither is Want Ferrari or Red Ken in the BMW. It looks like Ken is, 1 minute 13, so he's going to have time to cross the line and get himself a lap set. Want Ferrari is not far behind, so he should as well. And Floppy Fox not far behind on those two. So let's stick with the Ferrari. See how he gets on. He will be one of the last drivers to set a time. So we'll just keep an eye on that there. All is in the pit, so no more contributions to his qualifying. And there's GT Jamie. Wow, it's double the gap. Milden's just gone quicker again. And he's got time for another lap. And he's gone all or nothing there from pole position. And Connor. Oh, wow, less than a tenth. So no wonder Millen really was going for it there. So Connor will absolutely push every limit he can here. He's got less than a tenth to find. GT Jamie. That's got to be one of the shortest trips into pole position we have seen. Very quickly down to third. Renville fourth. Ollie in the pits. Purely a spectator at this point. Rob in sixth. This is the final throws. Elysium's been given a checker flag. Hutch. Kajitako's in the barrier. There's Ducuno as well. Did Floppy Fox get a time set? We saw Red Ken did get a time set. 20th position. We've got Want Ferrari. Set a time. He's in the pits. Red Ken still out setting a lap. Arnie Noir in the pour still setting a lap. No lap time from Floppy Fox. A bit of a surprise there for me on that one. Very quick driver. Will we see a last minute dash? He's got 2 minutes 20, so he can finish this lap. Art Connor can get a time set here as well. There's GT Jamie. Oh, hopefully that mic stand's not creaking too much. That's a bit loud. But yeah, so he's just exiting the village complex. Oh, big jump in position there as well. Arms up to 8th then, pushing Super Cartry out of the top 10. Jetpacker Nebula, 13th position. High Grades just had a position jump as well. Red Ken in the rain, 8th position jump right at the death of qualifying there. Gets himself up to 12th position. 1.8 off the pace along with Super Cartry and Kajitako. Is fascinating race between them. Has Art Connor does enough? He's still got his foot fully in it. No improvement in time then. Less than a tenth separating the top two. Incredible stuff then. As we can see up at the top of the table, it is Milden who has taken the top spot with a 2-minute 5.280. Art Connor with a 2-minute 5 as well. Not quite enough though. Less than a 10 separating those two purple sectors for Connor. Floppy Fox right at the death of qualifying. He gets one lap in, and it's good enough to get him on the second row of the grid. Side by side and ahead, GT Jamie, the first of two BMWs, with Yazoo sneaking into the top 5 as well. So Renville in 7th, Ollie, Renville in 6th, sorry, Ollie in 7th, half a second off the pace is Rob, alongside Arms 8 and 9th with Elysium in 10th. Then it's Hutch and Super Cartry on row number 6 with Red Ken in 13th position, not 12th after that phenomenal run by Floppy Fox right at the end there to deny him. Kajitako's Jetpacker Nebula Ducuno. You're Oulton in 17th, Andy Cray 18th, TKD Drifter in 19th, and High Grade B in 18th position. We'll get a look further down the order. High Grade B, yep, 20th, Lamaro in 21st place. Want Ferrari did get a time set, 22nd, Linkle Cheese Monkey, and Arnie Noir 24th and 25th. So all the drivers did get time set out there. Very tricky conditions. What is this going to do to the race? And we can see, I did say it was Connor that took 2 purple sectors. Well, no, it wasn't. In fact, the 3 drivers on the top 3 spots split the fastest 3 sectors over the qualifying session. So it's going to be phenomenal to see who comes out on top in the race. 4 manufacturers in the top 5, and the Lexus best in 6th position. AMG Aston Martin. Phenomenal stuff on home track, home soil from Connor to get the Aston Martin up into 2nd. Very speedy, fast in a straight line. Ferrari there in 3rd place. I'm only slightly biased. I'm a big fan of the Ferraris myself. We'll leave that board up there. Good times though. From the drivers, very, very, very difficult conditions to be driving in. This is a very much a high-speed circuit, a lot of side-by-side action and possibilities. Hey, Sean, how we doing, bud? Hello, hello, hello. How's it going? How are you enjoying the racing? Where are you? Actually, where are you tonight? Why are you not racing? Come on, tell me the story. Because yeah, you're second in the championship. Or are you missing a race to give Milden a chance because he missed a race? Is that what it is? I understand. I know Milden needs all the help he can get. He's not going to like me for that one. Yeah, and as well, Milden, you know all the... Oh, I'm in Spain on holiday. Why didn't you take your PlayStation? Do they not have electricity in Spain? I mean, come on, where is the dedication? No, I'm only kidding, mate. Enjoy. Sun, Sea. Make sure you have a double Jack Daniels and Coke. Plenty Ice. For me, my good man. I'll be expecting photos in the Discord. Who do you think is going to win tonight? We've got the rain. The rain in Spain falls mainly on the plain. It falls a lot at Silverstone. Hopefully it's not raining where you are in Spain. But yeah, going to be a fascinating race tonight in these conditions. Jetpacker Nebula does like to get on the podium. But he's down in 15th position. A long way down the field. Floppy comes in. Gets one lap in for qualifying. Finds himself on the second row. Ooh, back tomorrow. Oh yeah, Wednesday tomorrow. Alright, okay. One of those. Nice. Better flights. Going away and coming back midweek, I think. Rain stays. Connor will get it as Aston very strong. You heard it here first, folks. Aston very strong. Yeah, we will see, definitely. He certainly did well. Not much separating them in the qualifying times. So it will be a quick one. Couple of BMWs. We saw a cluster of BMWs last week. Not to be this week. And yeah, the drivers are definitely going to want to start making serious advances if championship glory is what they're looking for. We've got this race and 3 rounds after this one for the drivers to pick up points. And the next 2 races notoriously difficult for getting overtakes. Snetterton and the Hungaroring. Nürburgring, of course. SBR front 3, so they need to pull a gap to the pack. Right, okay. And that's me being kicked through the pits. Well, Streamlabs. So yeah, hopefully you can see that on the stream, the type of water levels that the drivers are dealing with. A fair bit of standing water there on track. But as Sean's saying, the Aston very, very strong here and in the wet. The Lexus could do as well if it wasn't starting from the pits. So Renville playing the long game then. Bold strategy. We'll see how it works out. Lamaro's in the Jag. The driver's getting nice and close at the back. So only Renville has failed to hit drive. You can see the orange marker there. One mandatory pit stop. And given that, yeah, the drivers will kind of be wishing it was the other way around, because it is a mandatory tyre stop and fuel is allowed if you need it. For an hour, they're not going to need fuel, and they're definitely not going to need a new set of tyres. In these conditions, you could easily run a set of wets for a full session. And the rain is going to get heavier. During qualifying up the top there, you saw that the track was rated greasy, and we had a single line of rain under the clouds. We've now got a double line of clouds. And I almost spilt that there. Nice done. Nicely done. And another plus sign, so it is going to get wetter and wetter as the race goes on. Of course, it might die down a bit. That's giving us the 15-minute forecast just because it's going to get heavier in the 15 minutes, keeping the drivers abreast of all the information. But it's going to play havoc with the pit stop strategies, that's for sure. But I don't think we're going to see many early stops because there is such a variability potential in the rain, in the weather. As you can see, it's getting heavier. Is it going to keep on getting heavier? Is it going to steady out? Is it going to lessen? The last thing you want to do is come in early and commit to doing the rest of the race on wet tyres, come back out, and within that 15 minutes the rain disappears and the track starts drying out. Suddenly you're scrabbling about looking for puddles to cool those tyres, and that's definitely not a game you want to be playing on this track. When it's partially dried out, that wet, the difference between the wet and dry line is pretty phenomenal. Just coming through the village complex, we're going to see them all taken off. GTJ, mate, the first of the BMWs. 4 different manufacturers in the top 4: the Mercedes, the Aston, the Ferrari and the BMW. Bentley there in 6, 2 BMWs, 2 Bentleys. Then Audi, how is AMS going to get on? I'm interested to see how that one plays out with AMS and the Audi in the wet. That car could certainly take a taste for blood when it wants. And when it wants, it usually succeeds as a much better driver than I once told me. Let's jump on board with the Ferraris to come round the last few corners. In our race this evening, it was an hour and a half last week at Oulton. It is an hour this week with one mandatory pit stop. There's the pit entrance on the right. We're going to be the start-finish straight any second. Any final predictions from anyone in the chat? Hopefully the drivers as well have remembered to put the wet brake pads on, or it could be an interesting one into turn 1. But we're going to see the green lights very, very soon. That was the finish line. Here is the start line. Green lights and away we're going. It's a great start by the Ferraris. Already got the legs on corner in that Aston Martin. Corner moves over, looks to keep it around the outside. Has he made the position? He's lost a bit of momentum there. Ferrari's going to have the run into Maggots and Beckett. Zizou's watched this whole thing. He's got himself ahead. A GT Jamie, not only that, Ollie in the background having a look potentially as well. Oh, and it is Floppy Fox is off track, looking for a way back on. He does manage to get back on without any contact with Connor. Connor retakes that second position. Floppy Fox in third. Milden says, thank you very much, gentlemen. I will take my leave. And that he has done. Floppy Fox back into third. Jamie still got a battle in his hands with Zizou, and now the timing boards are going to quite frankly go all over the place, so we'll give them a few seconds to calm down as we come into Stowe. There's a McLaren making a bold move in the background. That's Kaja Tacos then almost taking positions. He's got Takuno looking to make a move down into Chapel. I'm trying to arch my head over to see just what's going on, just slightly ahead there. That's Ollie. Pit window is open, completely managed pit stop. Yep, sorry, I thought someone had been given a starting penalty there. Floppy Fox, Ollie, Rob, GT, Jamie, Elysium, Arms and Super Carty then making up the top 10. Kazu Tacos just round the outside and on the wet AstroTurf, not where he wants to be. Into the quick right hander. Ooh, Super Carty almost up the back then. Dacuno, Red Ken racing with a good start. Andy Cray, you're vaulting up a position as well. Want Ferrari up 5 positions. Oh, and that car's not going to stop. Oh, it is. How did he manage that? Who was that a couple of positions up there? That was a very brave move on the grass. Did manage to slow the car down. Thought we were going to have contact. And again, there you're Oulton. Much later on the brakes here. Very well done to avoid contact. It's Lintel now under attack from Hutch. Hutch on the inside. Lintel's going to have to tap the brakes. He's too wide. Oh, and we've got a car down. We've got a car down. I'll find out who that is. Jetpack and Nebula's down quite a few positions as well. So I think there might have been a lap 1 incident between quite a few cars. We've got Cheese Monkey, Lamaro, Renville, Arne Noir, Jetpacker, Nebula right down the order. Hutch not going at full speed. Lintel in 19th. High grade B off the track. In 18th position along the Wellington Straight. You Volt and Want Ferrari. Quite up 6 positions for the Ferrari driver. 7 positions So one Ferrari wants himself a top 10, and he's on the way to getting 7 positions. He has improved since the start, and he's looking to take another one as Andy Cray runs wide through turn number 1. Redken racing in the BMW just ahead. Beautiful opening lap there with the Kuno just ahead of him. Then it's Supercar, Kazutakos and Elysium. Very close group of 3 coming through. Just out of Chapel. Arms in 8th place. He's dropped the position. GT Jamie in 7th. Rob in 6th. Ollie in 5th. Yazoo in 4th. And it is still the top 3 as you were. With Floppy Fox in 3rd. 2nd is still Art Connor. Milden still in that 1st place. We'll stay on board. Yeah, I want to try and keep an eye on as much of this as possible. Not the easiest from this camera, but there we go. Oh, we'll jump on board with Ollie just in time to see Yazoo make a little bit of a mistake there, and that little bit of mistake is going to cost him a lot of momentum onto Hamilton Straight, and it's going to give him a big problem on the exit to the village complex. I would guesstimate the Bentley very, very good in the wet indeed. The BMW is certainly being tested. Oh, and he just needs to keep this nice and calm. He can close the gap significantly then. Floppy Fox looking to do so as well. Art Connor avoiding the slipstream there on the exit, keeping all 4 tyres on as much tarmac, not wanting to use that curb and not as much grip on there, especially in these conditions. Oh, gets a much tighter line in there, rotates the car beautifully. Huzzle look up the inside. Milden knew he was done there. I think he knew he'd made a mistake. Didn't have the pace or the line he needed to hold that position. And it is Art Connor in the Aston Martin, as Sean predicted. Should do well in this race, and that's him got the lead of the race after defending well from Floppy Fox in the early stages. GC Jamie will want to get in the top 3 fight to help Jet Packer in the Porsche. Got ya. Oh, and GT Jamie Verstappen corner. Turn number 1, he's on the Hamilton line there. And that's quite a few positions dropped. That's Supercar 3 coming through in 10th place. We're going to see GT Jamie dropping positions. Red Ken has made it up a position to 12th place. He's got the Kuno just ahead of him. Supercar 3 and Elysium struggling ever so slightly. Ken looking to take some positions in. He's got the Kuno just ahead. The Kuno slightly slow in the Ferrari. He's got 1 defensive move here. That's it. Is he going to move over? Beautiful driving there by Ken, just eyeing up his prey. He knows he's got that battle ahead, could potentially use that to help engineer an extra position or two himself. He knows he's going to be slowing one another up. Does well there, but he will want to get a move on because he that one Ferrari up into 13th position. I'm sure I had rumblings that this guy was pretty quick. Obviously couldn't do it in qualifying, but look at the extra pace he's got out there. That Ferrari absolutely flying past Ken on the Hamilton Straight, and he's not wasting any time looking for more positions. Oh, and we've got a big wiggle there. That's GT Jamie's lost it, and that's 3 positions he's going to suddenly drop then. Completely lost that BMW yet. The rain really not suiting quite a lot of these drivers. Jet Packer isn't out of the race. He has taken his pit stop though. He's down in 25th position. This really is going to throw things up. Sean, this could not be going any better for you right now, bud. Well, actually, yeah, obviously it could. Somebody, yeah, because Milden's been gazumped off the top spot, and Jet Packer, early pit stop. 53 minutes, very changeable weather to come. That is a brave move by Jet Packer. We've got to come in and get some damage repaired, and it's potentially what inspired the early stop. Andy Cray looking on a pile on the woes. GT Jamie, 13th position for Jamie now. Andy, oh, and he's just had another wiggle there, completely lost. Snap oversteer to the max, and that stage exit left in turn number 1. Bad to worse for GT Jamie at the moment. Andy, oh, keep out of the wall. Well done, TKD Drifter. Nicely done. Keeps out of the wall on the way into Maggots and Beckett's. Renville, top 5, now in 20th position. Arnie and Cheese Monkey both making their way into the pits. For me, that's an early pit stop. What do you think, Sean? I think coming in this early to the pits when the weather is this changeable might be a bad idea, or is it a case of get in now so you can get back out and get your tyres up to temperature? Because if the track temp falls, you might not get your tyres back up. I want to tell you, Milden's had another little mistake then. And he finds the Ferrari all over the back of him. Let's keep an eye on this battle here. Oh, and that's run wide again. What is going on with Milden? Is his tyres not up to temperature? Could that be the segue of all segues? The Ferrari's certainly home, so that extra red light flashing because of the condition. Hopefully a lot of the drivers have realised that really in these conditions you do want to be turning your engine map down a bit. Get one of those, get your engine map set specifically for these conditions so you can actually get the power down as quickly as possible. At corner. The art of corner, we should call it now. 1.7 seconds is that gap then. He fended off Floppy Fox's advances in the first few corners. Managed to hold on to second, and as soon as Milden made the slightest mistake on the way into Village, Corner capitalised and took the lead. Arms up into 6th position, and he's going to take 5th. Zoo Platinum on the middle line there. Knew he had to somehow stop that charge. Kajitako and TKD Drifter as well. We saw Drifter off the track and he's been closed right back up on the gap. Arnie and Cheese Monkey still in the pit. Not sure if they're going to finish the race. That's been a while they're in. Unless it is a lot of damage that they're getting repaired. And again, Milden with another 10th to make up on corner. And another 10th lost to that Ferrari. Andy Cray and Red Ken Racing as well, having themselves a nice little battle. One Ferrari's made his way through, and it looks like Andy Cray has just got an overtake done there as well. Ken in 11th position, started in 13th, I believe, right at death. It looked like he was in 12th, started in 13th. Finds himself just behind Andy Cray now. DeCuno, one of the top overall teams he's part of, and some good results as well, finds himself in 12th place behind them. That board should update any second, but still 2 positions up on where he started. One Ferrari. I get the feeling somebody's going to tell me very soon that this guy's a professional eSports driver. He's up to 9th position from 22nd, so it's a great run there. Arms down 1 position, but still running great guns in the Audi. But let's just have a look at this again here. Yeah, this battle up at the front looks like there is a Lokaja Tacos and TKD Drifter are giving FRL Hutch a bit of a headache under the bridge onto the Wellington Straight. The Jaguar looking very quick in a straight line then. Is he going to close up enough? Just about holds that. Kaj has just dropped off there slightly. Jaguar absolutely pawned to find any grip it can. One Ferrari already up to Elysium then. Elysium running wide through turn number 1. And it is the teammates that pass one another. Full team orders in effect. You would think that one Ferrari, certainly at the moment, by far the quicker of the two. He's up in the 7th position. That's phenomenal rise. 15 places he's made up so far. Not too bad. Red Ken, there's confirmation he's in 11th. Arms in 10th. What's happened there? Not 100% sure. I'm scared to use the replay function. I've got confirmation actually whether that works or not. Broadcaster mode doesn't, so I'm assuming the replay doesn't work. But Arms down into 10th place then. He was running in 6th, so Rob promoted. One Ferrari, Elysium, Andy Cray all promoted, and Red Ken Racing with another lifeline to the train ahead of him. He does still have DeCuno applying the pressure just behind, so really is going to be on the ball. Floppy Fox is in 2nd place. Milden is in 3rd. Does replay work? Sean, I'm scared to try replay. Does it work on this or does it still crash it? We won't find out just in case. We'll stay on board with action. But Milden there, don't want to say he's made another mistake, but we did see him run slightly wide into Village. We're not far from Village. You can see him, he's dropped another position then in that Mercedes. He's still on the podium, but it is a third spot. Floppy Fox literally made his way onto the second row of the grid at the absolute death of qualifying. Right at the last second, his only valid lap. And he now finds himself in second overall. Did try to get past Connor early doors, as we mentioned. Connor fended that off. Went on to take the position from Milden himself, and Floppy Fox has done exactly the same. Connor 3.5 seconds up the road, so massive beneficiary to the battle that's been held behind him. Just watching some more action then. That is the Lexus of Andy Cray. Just been overtaken by Want Ferrari. Arms just behind, looking to make up positions after that drop. He's now back up to 9th. Ferrari has changed positions with Cray. There we go, confirmation of that. So he is back up to 7th. Andy in 8th. Arms 9th. Elysium in 10th. Ken just behind again. Elysium dropping in the pace here. Ken with a great exit out the corner there into the chicane. Not quite going to be close enough, but they're going to bunch up here. He could get a good run along the Hamilton straight, although so indeed could Adams. He's applying pressure to the Lexus just ahead. He's going to go up the inside on the way into the straight, and I tell you, we're going to see more positions drop there as well. De Cuno, this Red Ken Racing, watch this whole thing. Elysium looking to take a position on the Lexus, as well as Andy vulnerable through the right-hander here, potentially into Village. And that's Red Ken. Look at the pace he's made on these two. Almost got boxed in there by these two, but he's been left in the perfect position to get the cut back up the inside on Elysium. And oh, the Ferrari. De Cuno, that was a bit brave, I'm going to be honest. If I'm calling that like we just saw it, they go, yeah, potentially force a 4-wide there. Not the smoothest of moves. And I don't know why Ken's giving that position back. That's absolutely not on him. Is he taking damage? Ah, devastating. That was some great driving there by him as well. But yeah, De Cuno came in a bit hot there for my liking into the Village complex, caused a bit of contact, and some of the drivers have been shuffled about ever so slightly. So Supercat Ray in that 11th. De Cuno will be registered up a position or two, or is it Yazoo? There we go, so he is now ahead. Yeah, Supercar Crate is through on Red Ken as well, so a couple of positions dropped there. That was unfortunate on the way, and some great driving on the way into that corner complex as well. Some overtaking and some action still as it was. Most recently up at the front, corner in first, Floppy Fox in second, Milden into that third place. Arms back up to 7th. He seems to be following Want Ferrari on his charts. He's now up to 6th position. Not many pitted drivers. In fact, oh, has he dropped it out the race? Wow. Yeah, so Jetpack and Nebula no longer in the race at all. I believe that comes with a fairly substantial penalty. So yeah, we'll have to see what happens to that. But Jetpack and Nebula, championship leader, no longer in the race. So he won't score any points for this one. So Sean Cool, who is on holiday in Spain, has just been handed a parting gift as he's back from his holiday tomorrow. The championship leader won't be picking up any points in this race, much like himself, which is phenomenal news for us, because it means the championship is going to go down to the wire. TK Drifter trying to get this position done. Is that Hutch just ahead of him? No, it's not. That looked like Elysium. It is Elysium. So Drifter will get past Elysium now in 13th, with Hutch in 12th. Red Ken in 11th. Supercar 10th. De Cuno in 9th. Waza Huzzah! Huzzah! In 8th, Arms still in that 7th, trying to follow the Ferrari of Want Ferrari. In 6th, Rob 2K. In 5th position, 11 seconds behind Ollie. In that 4th place, 1.4 behind Floppy Fox is Milden in 3rd, Floppy in 2nd, Connor in 1st place. And I tell you, Floppy Fox has wasted absolutely no time in hammering the gap between the two drivers, the Aston Martin and the Ferrari, separated by absolutely not much at all. It was 3 seconds when we last looked, and it's now down to 3/10. Also very close between TK Drifter, Andy Cray and Kaja Tacos Renville in that group as well. We can see just how close this group of cars is. Let's keep an eye on the battle for the lead though. Connor's going to have to do some serious defending by the look of it. No one taking their pit stop at the moment. I did think that would be the case given just how changeable the weather conditions are. That rain is getting heavier, and it's going to keep getting heavier for at least another 15 minutes. Which will of course take us beyond the halfway mark in the race. The drivers will definitely get an hour out with the petrol tank, so it's all about the tyres. We started with 25 drivers. Arnie and Cheese Monkey unfortunately retiring to the pits, and we've lost another 2 as well. Kaja Tacos, Andy Cray, Renville still looking to get some positions done there. Oulton in 18th, Highgrade being 19th, Lamaro in 20th, and Lintel in 21st position. Red Ken still 11th, Super Cartray in 10th, DeCuno in 9th place, Yazah in that 8th, and it's Want Ferrari. He's already up onto the back of Arms. Arms back up into 6th position, so great driving by him. But he's now got Want Ferrari. Those two actually, just changed positions. So yeah, another battle to keep an eye on there. Floppy Fox now finds himself in 1.1 seconds. So it looks like the Aston, the quicker car through the closing sector of the lap in the opening stages. You can see not getting any drier out on that track. Oh, DeCuno, how close has he gotten now? He's looking to improve his position inside the top 10. It's a very good run in. Is he going to get the exit though? It's going to be a straight run for Stowe. There we go. Make sure that works. Yeah, there we go. Just having a look down the timing board there. Just this is about to say that he's putting in some quick lap times. But the Kuno is going that bit quicker. So is Hutch at the moment. Finds himself behind Red Ken, looking to get an overtake done there. TK Drifter is ahead of Andy Cray and Renville, but for how much longer? Renville looking to get his way past Andy, the fellow Lexus driver. Did qualify, or was in qualifying, much further up the field, but started from the pits for some reason. I'm not sure if he just missed it or just didn't hit drive in time, but he started from the pits. So he'll be looking to make his way back through the field, but yeah, easier said than done in these conditions with this many cars. Looking for an overtake there again. Doesn't want to box himself in, potentially trying to piggyback onto another car's overtake, but he's going to run out of choices very soon as the Lexus ahead of him looks to go side by side off the Wellington straight. Which car is he going to follow? The fellow Lex. Oh! Wow, the Lexus managed to hold that there. Elysium off and sideways. That voice sounds familiar. How are you doing, bud? I was trying to remember what your name was before it was Butler Racing. How are you getting on, mate? I thought I'd remember, now I can't. What was your name before Butler? Please remind me, because it's been so annoying me. Or am I getting you confused with one of the guys from Butler Pal? Because it's been a bit. You know, you raced with LNR. If I'm right. Hopefully. Was there something like Bad Bull Racing? I was going to say, was it Bad Bull? That's, yes! You see, LNR and stuff, see? I was right, Bad Bull Racing. There you go. Just before you typed that in. Yeah, good to see you, bud. How are you getting on? Are you in the arms for this? No, you were racing in this, aren't you? Are you on holiday as well? Sorry, we should be keeping an eye on the battle up at the front. LNR, that's it. Logistical Nightmare Racing, that's right. Somebody actually messaged me asking me if you guys still do races there. But yeah, no, I remember from the LNR days, bud. I definitely remember. Good to see you're still racing. It's good to see that you are still racing and getting involved. Are you... Oh yeah, Fox has already raced once. Yeah, so what leagues are you racing in then? Butler, I did see your name. Where did I see it? Maybe in the arms, but yeah, how you getting on anyway, man? Like I say, it's good to see you're still racing. I hope you're still enjoying it. I'm still terrible, that's why I stick to the commentary. I'm still enthusiastic, but yeah, never ever going to get any place. There is Elysium back to the racing. Renville's made his way up a position or two. It's still all very close here. Elysium into the pits. Andy's been into the pits and taken his mandatory stop just off the halfway mark. The plus signs have disappeared from the clouds, so the rain does seem to be steadying out as we approach the halfway mark of the race. 34 minutes left to go. Well, 35 minutes left to go of the race, 34 minutes left of the pit window. Well, my internet is on the fizz. It's still race with LNR Friday. Ah, okay, nice. Nice. I saw your name pop up someplace else. It'll come to me. It will come to me. Renville, is he going to get that position? The Drifter, in fact, catching up to Red Ken in 12th, so he's up a position. Hutch just ahead. Super Cartry in the top 10 with Yazar just ahead. Ferrari dropping off the back slightly of Arms in the Audi. The Kuno in 8th. Big gap opening up there, 1.1 seconds and closing up ever so slightly. Race with FRLACC. Okay, nice. Good. There is your Oulton looking to get an overtake done. High grade B just ahead. Kajitacos. Ooh, Renville, Red Ken Racing. All kinds of fun through the last corner there. Oh, is the McLaren going to sneak his way through as well? It is a drag race. The McLaren with the inside line, the BMW with the outside line. They're going to go side by side into turn number 1. The McLaren leaves just about enough room. Ken does well there. He knows he's going to get a run back on him into Magus and Beckett's, but for the moment Kajis has taken that position. High grade just coming through turn number 1 now, so no massive benefit for him at the moment. Elysium back out on track. Andy Crane, Lamaro, 3 drivers now taking that pit stop. Kajitacos, and there is Red Ken there, just in the back of that wash. Usually you call it jet slipstream, more like a car wash at the minute, with the amount of spray that will be coming off the back of the tyres. Floppy Fox then 7/10s, and they've got some back markers just ahead. wonder if we'll see either of these two come into the pits to avoid the traffic. And the rain's, as I say, steadying out. The track temperature's actually risen by a degree. So yeah, it might not be as big a headache as I thought coming into the pits with the conditions the way that they are. Let me just pop that off. I hate the sound of my voice, but it is. Unforced error on the Wellington straight there from Super Car Train just behind Kaja Tacos. Suddenly massively closed the gap on Renville as well. I want to tell you, he's right in his back pocket there. There's the Jaguar just ahead. TK Drifter. Dacuno comes into the pits from inside the top 10. First top 10 driver to do so. These three all make their way past. Red Kent just behind. Is he coming into the pits? He is coming into the pits. High grade B. Is he going to follow? So, Super Cartrays popped into the pits as well. Red Ken in. High grade B comes past. Oh, you're Oulton just off track through Luffield there, ever so slightly. Elysian Lagan. Slightly down, further down the road. Good hearing, mate. Brilliant. Now I've got something to watch regularly. Nice. Yeah, the amount of sim racing that's on Twitch and YouTube these days is insane. Lots going on. Plenty. It's good to see console is still going as well. It's just a pity there's more support for ACC console from the players than there is from the developers. It'd be nice if they could sort a couple of things out. But we won't labour that point. Let's just crack on with the racing as Kajitako and Renville are doing in towards Chapel. Hamilton Straight's going to be interesting. Oh, and the McLaren is, yeah, pretty severely shadow round. Where's Drifter? He's going to have to let Drifter have that position back. Renville's going to keep 11th. Kajitako's will stay in 12th there. Unfortunate series of events in the wet, but these things do happen, and the race leaders come into the pits. So there is Connor, pretty much bang on the halfway mark of the race, comes into the pits. Fox promoted, Milden promoted, so Milden back up to second. Floppy Fox now in the lead of the race. When will we see Fox and Milden reply to Connor's pit stop? They could theoretically stay out for another 28 minutes, no problem whatsoever. It just depends on what fuel they've got. Dacuno currently the lead driver on track to have taken his pit stop, while Lysium in second, Andy Cray third, Super Cartry fourth. Red Ken in and out the pits as well as Lamaro. So that is now Art Connor leaving his pit box. Rob is on the Wellington Straight, so he's going to come out. Still in 4th position by the look of it. So phenomenal gap by the lead. Oh no, he is in 5th. Hams is through as well actually. Want Ferrari's through. Yazoo, right, okay, so yeah. I was going to say that's really impressive. He's come back out in 5th position, but no, he's definitely not. He is in 7th. He will of course have a pretty big gap over the rest of the drivers who have taken the pit. They were 8th place Dacuno was when he came in. There's Renville coming in as well. So that battle between Elysium, Andy Cray and Red Ken looks like it's going to be reinitiated fairly soon. Connor back out in 10th position. Whatever happened to Raven's late night racing? I missed that. You know what, mate? I missed that too. Raven got old. And I've had loads of stuff on as well. I'm looking to make a triumphant return. Well, a return. And get some racing done pretty soon, but I will be back behind the wheel. But I will be toning it down massively. I won't be doing 12-hour streams and stuff. I think I'm going to, yeah. If I do shorter streams, there's more chance of me doing more of them rather than knocking myself into doing 14 hours in one day like I used to. But yeah, I will be coming and do some racing, race them in the gang, race them in the like. So yeah, I will be back racing pretty soon, mate, and I'll try and yeah, try and do some late night ones as well. But at the moment, oh, Rob coming into the pits as well then. Connor, we know he's done his pit stop, back out in 10th, high grade. Not far behind them actually, you're Oulton in 12th there as well. Floppy Fox and Milden. They've both stayed out. Ollie in 3rd. There's one Ferrari, Hutch and Yazza all coming into the pits as well. Arnie and Cheese Monkey. Early retirements. Lamaro, Redken, Supercars. Oh, that looked close there. Almost a bit of contact there, but there is... Oh, what's happened there? Connor's back in the pits. I wonder if he's put the wrong tyres on or not put fuel in, because he's definitely cleared his mandatory requirements. The orange tick's gone, but that is the race win out the window. He's still stationary. Incredible scene. We're going to find out drive-through for speeding in the pit lane car. Oh, Yazad's got himself a drive-through penalty. Connor is now moving again. What is going on there with Connor? Wow, so I'm completely confused with what's going on there, but that's not my job at this point. My job is to bring you the rest of the action. It's Floppy Fox from the lead of the race, who's coming to take his mandatory pit stop. You can see Milden is just caught up to the back of some of the pitted drivers. He's in the lead, so it looks like Floppy Fox has timed his jump into the pits absolutely perfectly. Milden will be hoping to get through the traffic as quickly as possible, but in these conditions, not the easiest to do. Especially when it's a battle for position just ahead of him. Has Art Connor? Yeah, he's definitely back out the pits. Oh! And that's Alicia into the wall. And is that Milden? It is. So it's Milden, the race leader, now being blue flagged past Connor, who's coming to the pits twice. Answers on a postcard. I've not a clue. I can only guesstimate that he either put dry tyres on with his pit stop, or he didn't put fuel in, or... yeah, or he picked up a bit of damage. Oulton comes into the pits. He was in 8th then. One of the longer first stints. Of course, Milden leading the charge on the long first stint. TK Drifter finds himself just behind Floppy Fox, but Floppy has taken his pit stop already, so not a battle for position per se. Andy Cray now finds himself behind one-time race leader Connor. Kaji Tacos, Arnie and Cheese Monkey, the 3 drivers in the pits currently. Hope Kaji is able to finish. Yazar coming into pits to take that drive-through penalty. A painful one in these conditions. Oulton still in. Still in that pit. That's quite a long stop actually. Hopefully he's not picked up damage. TKD Drifter, we saw with a couple of off-track excursions early doors. Now running in 4th through the pit stop phases. That's the drive-through clear for Yazar. So, ooh, bit of a wiggle. Don't cross that pit line. That's the last thing you want to do. Is pick up another penalty. So really the race now is about when Milden comes into the pits. Floppy Fox currently running in 3rd, but he was in the lead of the race when he came into the pits, and as soon as he came into the pits he's stayed out. Milden got caught behind a couple of cars, so it's all about his next few laps. The rain stayed steady, not getting any heavier, not getting any worse. There's Oulton back out on track then. Ken currently in 17th, he's just ahead, just served that penalty. So definitely positions there up for grabs. Lintel, in fact, is going to get a move done. through Chapel. Not the easiest place to do it in these conditions. The BMW right on that left-hand sausage. They've got unsettled them slightly, but managed to maintain control of the car onto the Hamilton straight. Gets the foot down very well indeed, right on that inside line as well. Doesn't get himself into the slipstream there, just eyeing up a move. Very clinical driving. Very patient, love to see it. Whoa, look how much more pace he's able to carry. Definitely the quicker out with the two BMW drivers. I'm sure he'll be looking to get his nose in front if he can. Great line on the way in. Definitely showing a mastery of the track. Oh, is he going to try that round the outside? The middle line defended beautifully there by Yazar. The two BMWs going at it onto the Wellington straight in this red Ken. Check and mate. Beautifully done. Very patient. Oh, and Yazaz ended up spinning. He's touched the grass. We almost lost another car there, but he didn't manage to miss that one red Ken. Getting that position retaken. And there is Milden coming in to the pits. Where is Floppy Fox? Just exiting the Village Complex, in fact, coming on to the Wellington straight now. Yes, he is. There's Milden stationary. What was that? Pit box 1, pit box 2. One of the first drivers into the server. No shock. And we'll call you Jixer 2.0, I reckon. Yazaz come back in the pits. Oh, potentially picked up some damage. Floppy Fox. Ooh, that looked like a fun entrance. That's not what he needs on the exit to Luffield. Milden is still stationary. Floppy Fox around the last right-hand kink. Milden still stationary. Wow, across the start finish line. Oh, and there's Milden moving. There is Milden moving. He's on the pit exit, but it is... And there's Floppy Fox just gone past. I missed that for dramatic effect there, jumping between the two, but he did go round the outside. And it is absolutely battle on. Of course, Milden will be on outlap tyres. He was stationary for a fair bit. He did have to change the tyres. So he'll be trying to get those wets back up to full operating temperature as quickly as possible. But really did get the job he needed done. Despite being held up by that traffic, he has kept himself well within striking distance over the closing 20 minutes. It certainly is going to be eyes on stocks for Floppy Fox, trying to make sure he maintains it, or perhaps extends that 1.1 second gap. It is Ollie. Once again, nice consistent drive in the Bentley. Didn't have the best tyre strategy, if I remember, last week, but did get a decent finish in the Bentley's. Fourth at the moment. Arms still to pit. He was running as high as 6th at one point. So you've got to think that Ollie could be running for a podium. Renville looking to close up on Hutch at corner. Looking to close up on Renville then. 12th position. There's Lintel coming in to take his pit stop. Kajitakos is back out on track. Love to see it. So is Yazat as well. Oulton 19th, Lamaro Elysium in 17th, Red Ken in 16th. But he's about to overtake Lintel in the pits. And obviously the start-finish straight doesn't count as a time in Dell, so we'll need to wait till he gets through to sector number 2. Supercar in 14th, Andy Cray in 13th place. Art Connor in 12th position. If you went away for 20 minutes, wow. Yeah, Art Connor, 12th place. Renville in 11th. It's Hutch in 10th. The TKD Drifter in 9th place. Want Ferrari in 8th. DeCuno up into 7th for almost stuff. Rob in 6th. High grade in 5th. Going a bit slow there. Ollie in 4th. Milden in 3rd. Floppy Fox in 2nd. And Arms in the pits. And that's Floppy Fox gone through, Milden gone through, and Ollie RSR is going to take a podium spot as Arms starts to move. Ollie already passed the pit exit. High grade still got his pit to take. Will now be the lap. Yes, it will. He will be the last driver to take his mandatory pit stop, and Arms has been released into the wild. It's all about where he's going to come out now. Who's that? Is that Rob 2K just ahead of him? Is it Rob 2K? Yes, it is. So Arms then, great drive. Started in 6th, dropped well down the order, and now finds himself up into 5th position. That'll write itself when the boards come through. DeCuno now finds himself up into 6th at expense of high grade. He's going to lose a position as well to Want Ferrari TK Drifter. Renville being overtaken there by Art Connor. Art just running a bit wide there. Maybe a bit aggressive on the overtake on the inside line. Running a bit wide, could get a ticking off from the in-game stewards. Doesn't want to make a bad day worse by getting himself a track violation penalty in the next trip into the pits. He's already had 2, which is double what his competitors have had. Speaking of doubled, the gap between Floppy Fox and Milden is absolutely doubled there, 2.1 seconds. So they may well have been very, very close as Milden came out of the pits. With those tyres certainly savouring Fox, or sorry, certainly favouring Fox on exit. 2.1 seconds is the gap. We'll get another update on that across the start-finish line here. Back down to a 1.5 second gap then. So Milden certainly fighting back. High grade B exiting the pits. That was quite a lengthy pit stop actually compared to some of the other drivers. Elysium through, Lamaro through, Oulton through, Lintel not quite through, so it looks like it's going to be 18th position there. Oulton will be promoted to 17th. Renville got Art Connor ahead of him. He'll try and follow him. I did think he'd try and hard. But not able to keep up there. Art really is flying in that Aston Martin. So yeah, really will be interesting to see what happened. Okay, so Jetpack, his game's crashed. So yeah, definitely is game on for the championship. But no word obviously from Connor at the minute. So yeah, I'm sure we'll find out why that extra trip into the pits. Floppy Fox though, what a story. Doesn't get a lap time set until the very dying embers of qualifying. Starts the race in 3rd. Finds himself on the top spot with 14 minutes to go and a 1.4 second gap back to Milden. So the gap seems to be jumping 1.4, 1.5 seconds up to about 1.9 to 2.1 seconds. So there's obviously differences where the cars handle through the lap. But Floppy Fox managing that gap superbly at the moment. 20 laps in. Lap times around about the 2:07, 2:08 to the minute in these conditions. It does say the rain is going to lessen slightly in 15 minutes, which is phenomenal news for the caretakers because the drivers will be finished in 14. So at least the fans will be able to make their way back to the car park without getting completely drenched. You got to love the sense of humour of that. 15 minutes from now it'll be bone dry. We'll be done by then. And off skate. Kaji Tacos bringing up the rear at the minute, 21st position. Yaza after that unfortunate penalty in 20th. Lintel in 19th place. High grades in 18th with Oulton in 16th position. Lamaro in 17th, sorry. Lamaro's in 16th with Elysium in 15th. Red Ken in 14th position. Super Carteret in 13th. Andy Cray in 12th. Hutch in 11th. Renville in 10th. Connor in 9th place. TK Drifter in 8th. Want Ferrari in 7th. DeCuno in 6th. Arms 5th position. So great recovery drive there by him. Rob 2K, phenomenal drive as well in 4th place in the Bentley. Ollie in the other Bentley up into 3rd. It's Milden still in 2nd place, and just ahead of him it is Floppy Fox. All there for him to do. Just got that 13 minutes left. When Connor pitted, he put softs on. Right, okay, I did wonder. I did say I thought that's what was going on there. Oh, wait a minute, what have I just done? Oh, I thought I shut down the broadcast there. Yeah, that was the wrong button. Haha, panic stations. But yeah, so Floppy Fox up at the front and Art Corner. That really is unfortunate. Where is he now? He's back inside the top 10, but championship wise, that win would have been absolutely massive for him. Absolutely massive. Just quickly looking, yeah, because he is currently, what is he, 6th overall and 65 points off the top spot. DNF'd last week, and he's only had one trip onto the podium, which is a surprise for someone a Connor's talent. You have to be honest. Oh, your Oulton looks like he's trying to get an overtake done. Got Manatory just ahead of him. But ooh, he's just got a bit on the grass here, so he's really going to have to lift and modulate, regulate his brakes properly to make sure he doesn't lose the car, which he does. Does lose him a lot of momentum though onto that straightaway. Can he catch up onto the back of the Jag? They've got. That's Ollie, I believe, just making his way through. Yes, it is the driver in 3rd position. He's just catching up onto the back of the Jag, just goes around the outside. Oh, you made hard work of that there, Ollie. That was certainly brave. Don't want to get too much on the grass. Yeah, that is Lamaro. Just looking to unlap. Oh, he's just been lapped, so he'll be very close. Kadzitako's still in that 23rd position. Arne Noir and Cheese Monkey, unfortunately, as we mentioned, not able to finish the race due to terminal damage to the car. And we'll have had one server disconnect as well, unfortunately. Although I believe there was a problem getting the server started, didn't know about disconnected, so we'll manage to get through the race. Fingers crossed, so we'll definitely take that as a blessing. Definitely a blessing in disguise for Floppy Fox and Milden. That was a heroic battle they were going to be faced with. Getting Art Connor off the top spot, as I say, in the opening few laps. Connor managed to fend off the advances of Fox and then take the lead of the race from Milden. And that unfortunate incident in the pits, putting on the wrong tyres. And then finds himself down in 8th. Oulton still trying to get his way past Lamaro. Well, these two look very similar colours. Are they on the same team? Red Cannon want Ferrari. Hutch, Oulton and Chase. Right, okay, no. They're not on the same team. Oh, a lot of grass here for Oulton. Again, really needs to stay off that. There's no need to be on the grassy things. Not sure if he's just drifting off to the side of the track. Has it been a long day? Definitely don't want to be making those minor mistakes here when you're hunting down points, paying positions. He's got Lamaro just ahead of him and Elysium a fair chunk up the road. But the overtake is definitely still on. Can Arms close up to Rob? In a great race from both these drivers. The Audi driver especially with that recovery drive. Milden and Fox. Ooh. A couple more drivers in the pits. Could potentially be another couple of retirees, unfortunately. Andy Cray is catching up on the back of Hutch as well at the moment. In the last 8 minutes, it does say, yep, the rain is going to get slightly less in about 15 minutes time, so just as the drivers are completing their cool down lap, there'll be less rain falling. Still be plenty on the track though. Milden 2.3 seconds then. The gap he's got. What is this going to look like as they cross the line? Just under 8 minutes to go, and at just over 2 minutes a lap, not many laps left on the table. 1.9 is that gap. Andy Cray, oh, he's all over the back then. Onto the Hamilton State, drive through for Peter, speeding in the pit lane. High Grade making a late pit stop, and that is really detrimental then. Drive-through penalty with 7 minutes to go. As he sees Elysium. Oh, lose it. He's spun. He's gone off. He's going to need to rotate that car very cleverly. There goes Ollie on his way through. He does have another couple of cars approaching. If that was Ollie, then Rob and the gang will be not too far behind. Still a fair chunk down the road. So no threat to the race leaders then. High Grade D, Yazat losing positions. Hopefully he can get back out and finish the race. It'd be so unfortunate to get 54 minutes in and not be able to finish. But it's certainly been known to happen. Ooh, just having a look here then, Lamaro. Elysium just ahead of Oulton. Oh, beautiful move to get side by side. Can he make this one stick? The Jaguar runs a bit deep there. He was... Oh, that's all kinds of messy then. The Bentley driver. Full hats off there, sir, for managing to avoid that contact. That certainly looked like it was on the cars. The Jaguar taking the inside, then the wider line, opening up the corner through the chicane, not giving the Bentley any place to go into the village complex. Again, look how much pace the Bentley's got. Has a look up the inside. The Jaguar just about leaving enough room. The slightest of invitations there. It does take the apex wisely this time onto the Wellington straight. The Bentley's going to be doing all the running here from the slipstream. You can see much quicker exit then. The Jaguar pulling away in the mid-gear phases, but the Bentley is going to come thundering back. He's going to try and go round the outside. He's going to try a sneaky cut back then. It'll be a bold Luffield move if he gets this one done before the start-finish line. 5.5 minutes to go. Oulton definitely a quick drive through. Still for High Grade. He's got 2 laps left to serve that. I thought there was someone else getting a drive through penalty. No penalties up at the front. Not to be before the end of lap 25 for Oulton. Does have plenty of time left. Well, plenty of time. 2-3 laps maybe. Potentially 3 laps. We will see. Oh! Turn 1. Lost the back of the car. And that is stage exit right through Verstappen Bend. And Lamaro has been given a fair bit of breathing space. You've got to guess that's 16th position in the bag unless the Jaguar driver makes a big mistake. Now 4.5 minutes left. 2 laps to go. Definitely needs to be a lot closer than that if he's going to make a move. All things are possible in these conditions. We shall see, we shall see. 4.5 minutes left to go. It's Floppy Fox leading the way with Milden in second, Ollie in third, and Rob 2K in fourth position. Arms up in a fifth, Kuno in sixth, Want Ferrari in seventh, Art Corner in eighth, TK Drifter in ninth position. And rounding out the top 10, it is Renville, FRL Hutch in 11th, Andy Cray 12th, Super Carthrey in 13th place, Red Kane Racing in 14th with Elysium in 15th place, Lamaro in 16th, Oulton in 17th position, as we were just discussing, and runs a bit deep through there as well. Yep, the conditions definitely changing under the tyres of the drivers. Lintel in 18th, High Grade still with that drive through. So it's potentially going to lose a position to, in fact, yeah, will lose a position to Kazutacos. Yaza, Arnie Noir and Cheese Monkey all finishing, unfortunately, in the pits. A couple of parade laps underway then for Floppy Fox. And again, what a story, what a race it's been for him so far. Comes into qualifying right at the last second. Finds himself the lead car on row number 2, and now he's finding himself bringing home potentially a very comfortable race win. Wow, it's amazing how far behind the stream is. That's almost a minute. That's crazy. But yeah, 2 minutes 45 to go, so we will see the 2 more laps, and it's going to be parade laps, easy for me to say. There's High Grade serving his drive through. Oh, and I tell you what, Kajitako's didn't quite get caught up then. But it's definitely closed the gap between the two of them. Into Maggots and Beckett's. There's high grade on his wing. Kaja just following closely behind. Let's see how much that gap goes. It was 25.5 seconds. We'll get an idea in a moment or two just exactly how much that's dropped. Well, I say we will. Any second now we should get. Oh yeah, here comes the timing line now. Chuck through the timing line. 6 seconds. 19-second close, not too bad in one lap. Is that one going to be a cheeky overtake right at the end? He's certainly going to need to get his foot down if it is. All hail the floppy fox though. Coming around the last corner, 1 minute 36, so this will be the start of the final lap. And he really is applying that pressure even though he's leading the way. 3.2 seconds is now the gap. 3.4 seconds is now the gap. So great race by Floppy Fox to bring this one home. Milden in second. Ollie looking like he's got himself a very solid podium effort. Rob 2K in fourth and Arms in fifth place at the moment. Let's see, DeCuno and Want Ferrari, those two not separated by much, but you'd think that DeCuno going to have just enough to fend off the charge of Want Ferrari. Connor has made his way back up to 8th after that extra trip into the pits. He's drifted in 9th in Renville, rounding out the top 10 still. Andy still trying to catch up onto the back of Hutch. He's got just under a lap and a half to get a move done if he's going to Oulton and Lamaro. Reigniting their battle into Maggots and Beckett's. Can Oulton get a last lap overtake and get himself a few extra points? Promoted to 16th. Let's keep, what? Milden is in the lead of the race by a second and a half. Well, that's what happens when you take your eyes off and you have a run down the order. It all changes. Floppy Fox now in second position. Hutchie is winning this one. Dude, your voice is super familiar. SOP. Yep. Hiya. That's me. Hutchie is winning this one. I mean, he's good. Oh, him and Andy Cray. Andy's catching up. Let's make sure we catch Milden crossing. What happened with Fox? I'm completely bemused. But yeah, GR Sim Racing, yeah, I'm the dude from SOP, mate. That's quite cool, you noticed that. I'm not going to lie. We will see Milden crossing the finish line. Takes the checker flag for the race win. Sean Cool slightly uncomfier in space. Oh, and Floppy Fox is off. Fox is off again. He's not crossed the line. What's going on? What's going on? On the way off Wellington, he's just pulled off to the side of the track. So it's going to be Ollie RSR who takes second position. Floppy Fox still stationary. Rob 2K. Oh, let's have a look. Let's have a look. Let's have a look. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? You're Oulton, and oh, he's got him up the inside, out the last corner. It's a straight drag race. They were across the line. Oulton takes that position there, right on the last lap. Fun and games. Floppy Fox. Michael Races. I've heard you're very quick and used to be in this championship. Floppy is reserved, so giving his teammate points. All good sports. Ah, okay. Ben might have something to say about it, but it's cool to hear your voice on FRL. Thank you very much. Yeah, Milden. With that first place. Oh, one Ferrari. What a drive here. From 22nd up to 6th place. Art Corner from 1st to 7th. Unfortunately. 2nd to 7th. Unfortunately, Floppy Fox, reserve driver, handing over some points. TK Drifter in 9th. Renville in 10th. Hutch in 11th with Andy Cray just behind. A few little love taps from the drivers. Red Ken in 14th. Elysium. We can't actually guarantee these are the correct results because a couple of drivers have left of notice, so there might be a bit of a jiggling about. I do know that Yaza, Arnie and Cheese Monkey, unfortunately, unable to finish the race. Due to damage. Let's just make sure we've got that saved for the opening next week. Phenomenal stuff. And then we'll have a look at the timetables and see if that does confirm the full racing results. Yep, so Milden first, Ollie second, Rob in third place, Ams in fourth, Ducuno in fifth, Want Ferrari sixth, Art Corner seventh, Floppy Fox coming home in eighth place then, TK Drifter in ninth, Renville 10th, Hutch in 11th, Andy Cray 12th, Supercart Ray is in 13th, Red Ken Racing 14th, Elysium 15th, Yavoltin in 16th, just ahead of Lamaro then in 17th position. Lintel 18th, High Grade 19th, Kaja Tacos in 20th position, and Yaza in 21st. GT Jamie was a disconnect from the server, unfortunately. So was Jet Packer Nebula. So there we go. Phenomenal stuff. Great racing. Silverstone in the wet. What more could you ask for? A fast track that dares drivers to overtake. Extra soggy conditions. You've absolutely got to love it. And if I keep scrabbling, boom, I've actually even made this work now. PC is taking over now. Still love the PS5. You know what, mate? I started on the PS4. I'm the same as you. Once you switch to the PC racing, it's, yeah, the extra feedback you get from the wheel. Great comms. Thank you, bud. I'm glad you enjoyed it. I'm not going to lie. I might have enjoyed the comms more if you were racing. With all those 100% podium rate you've got, if I'm not mistaken. Let me just check and see if I've done my research properly. Yeah, only driver with 100% podium rate. 3 out of 3 races, so yeah, I'll definitely be keeping an eye on your PC races as well. But enough of me fanboying over alien pace drivers. We are here for, this was round number 7. And we will be continuing the British theme. Oulton Park was last week, Silverstone this week. And it's Snetterton next week. I don't know what you drivers did to upset the organisers, but you've got Oulton and Snetterton all within 3 weeks. Sorry, that's what I get. I literally choked on my own joke there. I'm not a big fan of Oulton and Snetterton myself. But it's only a lack of driving ability. That's what it is. You know what they say, you only dislike a course until you learn to drive it. And then once you do, you're fine with that. But yeah, so this was round number 7. Thank you to everyone and congratulations to the podium finishers. Hopefully somebody got the results because the race server has just closed. There we go. I tell you what, yeah, let's pop the highlights on. We'll do that. There we go. That's what you get for trying to do too many things at once. Just press play. There we go. Yeah, so thank you to everyone that joined us this evening here on FRL. Of course, you can get involved. All the links are on the bottom of the race screen that I'm about to bring back up. PS4, PS5 and PC racing all available. Get yourselves onto the Discord. I'm not 100% sure, but I think there might even be a Twitch broadcast on right now as well. So get yourself onto Twitch and jump on to the FRL channel, Formula Racing League. And yeah, enjoy some more racing. That is it for me this evening, though. Thank you, Butler, Sean, JR, and Michael, all jumping in the chat to say hello. Thank you very much. I appreciate that hugely. Hopefully, you join us again next week for that trip out at Snetterton. Remember, after Snetterton, we've got the Hungaro Ring and then a 90-minute race, the Nürburgring. Absolutely cannot wait to see how the drivers handle the 2 mandatory pit stops around there. It's going to be absolutely phenomenal. And with the server disconnects and the results the way they were tonight, the championship will not be decided until the final checkered flag of round number 10. So make sure you don't miss any of the action. I'll be back same time, same place next week to bring you that Snetterton race. So until then, you'll stay safe.